Hey, Larry. Hey, Tina. Sorry we've been out of pocket for the past couple of days. We weren't sure if we were going to do a close up yesterday or not. And hey, Fern, I had to be at the church at 3 o'clock yesterday, dressed and ready to go for pictures and whatnot. And the wedding was at 5, and it was a very long wedding service. First Greek wedding I've ever been to. And then the reception started, hey, Mr. Krabs, around 7, and we didn't get out of there until 11 o'clock. Hey, Charlie. And we came up here to feed everybody and clean the boxes and whatnot. And I don't know, I was still dressed in my tux and all that, and Melanie was in a dress, and Wilson had a freak out. I don't know if it was the smell of the only female from Stella's litter is Zelda, who I'll tell you something about Zelda in a minute. But we came in to feed everybody, and Wilson just freaked out. I don't know what the deal was. His tail was fluffed up. He was darting all over the place. He wouldn't eat his food. We had a heck of a time just corralling him and getting him back in his room so we could leave. I mean, it took a good 30 minutes of, or maybe not quite 30, about 20 minutes of trying to corral him back in the room so we could leave. So it was an ordeal, but he seems to be regular old Wilson today. I'm wearing normal clothes and probably don't have a bunch of strange smells on me from different places I've been, but I don't know what had him so wound up. If it was the tux or just the smell, or I don't know. Being an odd time coming in here, and I guess it could have been a combination of everything, but he just had a mini meltdown. But nonetheless, he's back to being himself today. And while I was at the reception, I got an email from the lady from the rescue who got a pet finder inquiry about Miss Zelda. So if you were watching the main room stream and you saw me at the computer, it was so late when we got home I didn't have time to deal with it last night. And I got up this morning and I went to church, and then I had to take the tux back and all that good stuff. So I had to go ahead and do my normal thing and reply to that inquiry and send an application. And the pictures on Pet Finder are a little outdated. I don't remember how long ago it was that we added new pictures, but I went ahead and sent her some new pictures from this past week that I took when she was on the desk laying in the bed. But I'm hopeful for good things for Zelda. We have been very fortunate for the ones that we have had success in getting adopted. They've all gone to great homes and are all doing very well. I could not be more pleased with all that. Of course, the downside of being very selective in who gets to adopt has been that it's taken a little bit longer. That, and we never have been able to bring ourselves to put them in the cages at PetSmart and leave them there. So maybe our patience will pay off again. But the lady has my contact information. I sent her an application. I sent her links to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So I was just saying I got an inquiry about Zelda last night while I was at the wedding reception. And I have responded to that and sent applications and links and updated pictures of Miss Zelda. So fingers crossed, everything works out. The lady that is interested said she has 2 cats, and her oldest cat was very close to her youngest cat. And the oldest cat passed away recently, and she wants to find another cat that can bond and be friends and play and all that. So we are hoping for the best for Miss Zelda here. As painful as it will be to let her go, and any of them at this point, since we've had them for this long. Hello, Clara. Yeah, Zelda's a very sweet girl. Very sweet. Very agreeable. And she's at the age now, excuse me, where they may have to do some introduction to the other cats, but I think she will be just fine. She's sweet, so I don't foresee any problems. I don't know what these guys are trying to get into, but they're trying to get in that room for something. And I hope, when I came in, that door has not, she seemed fine nonetheless, whatever the deal was. But it was so late and I was so tired, and when we left last night, I didn't do my head count like I should. I know I saw Lily and Clara and Doc, and most of the time Stumpy's over in the bed anyway, so I didn't really think much of it. And y'all see Stella over there. Stella has taken a liking to the foam balls. What? I was trying to pick that up, Hank, and you just knocked it away from me. Ugh. Stella. Stella. Want this? Want this? Stella. Hey, Priscilla. And hello to you, Mr. Lionel. Stella has become a bit more agreeable with everybody. Not 100%. Had a little scuffle a few minutes ago. That typically only happens when this guy goes in their room and tries to eat their dry food. Stella gets a little upset by him being in there. And Miss Lily is just standoffish towards all of them. Let me wipe this lens off a little bit. It looks like it's smudgy, but... Yeah, Hank is her buddy. Aren't you, Hank? Aren't you, Hank? We still just have so much concern about trying to get Hank and Wilson adopted because they're so skittish, but I hope there's somebody out there who will love them like we do and be understanding of their disposition. And most of the time Wilson is fine. I mean, he's a little jumpy, but he plops down in front of me for belly rubs and all that all the time, and I think given enough time in a new home, he will do the same for everybody else. Oh yeah, Hank and Wilson do fine. Yeah, all of the siblings, and there's a slap fight between Clara and Hank, all of the siblings get along just fine, and same with Doc. All of them get along with Doc just fine. The only beef I ever see between any of this family is when Stella gets upset. She tends to take it out on Zelda at times. Not always, but most times. She'll get upset at Doc, and I'll kind of step in, and then Zelda will be within striking distance, and she'll go and slap Zelda in the head. She just has to get that aggression out on somebody, and poor Zelda usually takes the brunt of it. But she takes it in stride. She's still just as sweet as she always has been. Yes, that would be nice. And I know if Zelda's adoption pans out, we probably will only have one of them adopted since she already has two other cats at home. But I invited her to come up and meet them if she would like. And as I say, I sent her all the links, and she can look at the close-up streams and the regular static cameras and kind of get an idea of how they act. But Zelda is very sweet. She is not a fan of the belly rubs, by the way. She used to be okay with it, but now she'll kind of give you a bite, not a hard bite, just a, hey, cut that out. But I'm hopeful. We had kind of been spinning our wheels here lately. The rescue group had planned an adoption event this weekend at PetSmart, and I think the illness that has plagued the state has gotten a couple of people, and they just decided to wait until another day to do it. But in the interim, I talked to the lady at the rescue earlier this week, and I told her about some ideas I had for fundraising and whatnot. She has just moved into a new house and said she has a designated cat room now, and I offered to buy her a camera and get her set up on YouTube so she can stream the kittens and all that she ends up taking care of at her house. So hopefully in the next couple weeks or so, I can't put a timetable on it because I haven't ordered the camera and all that, but hopefully soon we will have another stream up, and I'm going to help her with a Facebook page and try to get some promoted ads and set up a little fundraising mechanism for her, and because she does a lot. I'm certain that is a possibility, yes. Because it would be much better for all these guys. Yeah, Priscilla, everybody is vaccinated, up to date on all their shots, spayed and neutered, even the mom cats, which we also had a lot of help with. Yeah, and that's what I told her. They do have a PayPal account set up for the rescue group, but it's not really promoted anywhere or anything like that. And I told her, all you guys have been so generous with donations and of monetary donations, as well as toys and beds and everything else, that I feel like the rescue could definitely benefit from doing the same. But she's got a few people that help her, but it's not a huge organization by any means, and they do more work than they're paid for. So anything I can do to help them get a little more money flowing or supplies or whatever they need, and they also rescue dogs and not just cats. Pretty much any animal in need, if they're able to help, they do. But I also, with the Facebook page, our local shelter here, they post pictures and feature animals and all that on a daily basis. I told her, since I bought Melanie a nice camera, and she said she had gotten a camera for Christmas for herself. But between her and Melanie, hopefully we can start taking good pictures of all their rescued animals that are available for adoption and do the same as the shelter. But my plan is to get a promotional post up that kind of advertises the group and tells a little bit about the history, and get a few more page likes before we start that. So there's as many eyes on all the animals as they possibly can get. Oh, I definitely will. We will put it up on our Facebook page, link everybody to it. Well, I put this laser pointer in my pocket, and I've just been talking and rambling on rather than letting them chase this thing around. So yeah, it's been a fairly productive week in terms of trying to get that stuff done, and Melanie's doing good. I think she's over whatever I gave her. I agree, Tina. She's helped us tremendously with it would have been way, way more expensive to get all these guys up to date on shots and spayed and neutered and all that. And she's already gotten us 5 adoptions that I couldn't be happier with. So through Pet Finder and one from PetSmart. Percy got adopted from PetSmart. So she's been a big help to us, and I feel like we can return the favor. And I told her that I would, like I said a minute ago, well, thank you, Priscilla. But I offered to buy her a camera like the one we have in the rooms here. Not the one in this room. This one is a Nest Cam. But the other two, the Amcrest ones, are significantly cheaper, and they work pretty well. They go offline like the one in Stella's room went offline at some point overnight. I don't know what time it went down, but I noticed it was down when I got here. But if I can get her set up with one of those, and I will probably give them a monetary donation when all this is done too, when we're not constantly buying food and litter and whatnot for these guys. Yeah, I like the picture on the Amcrest. It's actually a better picture than the drop cams, if you ask me. Drop cams are good at close range, but we have some. This is just an extra one that I used up here because the front of our building has these decorative spotlight type things, and I've tried to put one in the window facing out, which is the one that's in here now. But we've got 3 other ones set up as security cameras, but the lights downstairs just blind that camera, so there was really no use for it up here. Oh, I gotta plug in, hang on a second. So I just utilized it. But those drop cams, as a security measure, have been really nice. As some of you may have witnessed the other night when I was up here and was telling you about the robbery down the street, it caught the kids running through the parking lot and alerted me to something going on. So they have also caught 2 break-ins to date. One a car break-in and one an attempted break-in to the basement of the building. So they have definitely been a valuable thing to have. But for the purposes of streaming these guys, Amcrest does what I need it to do for a fraction of the cost. Drop cams, which they're now called Nest Cams, they're pretty expensive, like $300 at least. They have a few features that the Amcrest cameras don't have. But for our purposes, I think the Amcrest is just fine. You don't want to go after it, Doc? But yeah, last night was a long night, and I am exhausted today. But I'm thankful that I don't have to wear those shoes ever again, at least not anytime soon that I'm aware of. I don't know of anybody else getting married in the near future. The tux itself was fine, but those shoes were just brutal. Apologies if it's a little laggy on you guys in. It's gotten kind of choppy a couple of times for me. Seems okay at the moment, though. I'm sorry for my shoddy camera work. I'm trying to hold this battery and the phone with one hand. Thought my phone was a little more charged, but not. I did, though, take my phone to the Apple retailer here, and they tested it and said my battery is definitely bad. So they have ordered a replacement battery, and as soon as it gets here, they will let me know. And that problem will be solved. Yeah, I wish you guys could have seen how Wilson was acting last night when we came in. He was just, I don't know where his mind was, but he was going nuts. You want to turn, Clara? Do your wall dance over there? Lino says, me too. They do. They don't get it too often just because I rarely think about it, but yeah, they like catnip. Stella's still over there playing with another one of the foam balls. You don't get to see her play very much. We'll walk over here with her. Go get it. She has that Lily head bob thing when she talks. Well, go get it. It's over there. Well, we'll just walk over here and get it for her. Hey, Zelda. Hello, Wilson. I hope your freak out is over. It was difficult not to get a little angry at Wilson last night because we just didn't understand why he was freaking out, and he made it impossible to catch him. She plays with her kids from time to time. I've popped in on the camera in their room and seen her playing, running around with them, but typically out here she plays by herself, yeah. More often than not. I don't want to get her too close to Doc because we've already done that today. Are you done chasing it now? But we have yet to create a listing for Stella because we didn't know for the longest time how she was going to adapt to being up here, but she's done very well and is getting better. And This is another of her favorite things, is to get in this box and roll on her back for belly rubs. But I think with almost 100% certainty that she and Hank could go together and be very happy in a home. Because, like Larry was saying, Stella and Hank sleep in the hammock together, or they'll sleep in the bed out here together, but they like to hang out. And sorry, she's blurry. I don't know what it's trying to focus on, but kind of dark over here, so maybe that's the problem. Let there be light and glowing eyes. But yeah, Stella's sweet. She always was when she was outside, so I guess there's no reason for me to think otherwise. When she came in here, she just wasn't used to the inside and everything that goes with that. But Hank will, a lot of times Hank will curl up in his box with Stella. They did get into a slap fight the other day. I guess they were crowding one another. It would also be nice for these two guys to go together because they're pretty good friends. And Doc has gotten exceptionally sweet as he's gotten older. He's not the crazy Doc he once was. But yeah, they curl up in the bed on my desk together, and this is a pretty common occurrence now. They play together, and Doc always bathes him before he starts to bite him, and then they kick one another in the head. So they are not brothers. Doc, which is this one, is Lily's, or Clara's baby. Lionel is Stella's baby. And Clara is also Stella's baby. Yeah, it took a little bit, but time heals all wounds, and they worked it out. And I remember when we first introduced Doc to all of them, he and Percy was a big fan of Doc, but Doc was not a fan of Percy. But they ended up being really good buddies. Hard to say. I think Lionel is definitely more dense than Doc, if that makes sense. Doc is fluffy. Lionel has a little bit of pudge on him, but he's just, I think, a bigger cat overall. He would definitely be bigger than Doc if Doc lost a pound or so. Yeah, he's just a naturally bigger cat. Doc is voluntarily bigger, I guess you could say. What did I do with the laser pointer now? I think Claire's waiting on it. looks all choppy. I think I've seen a picture of a very large cat. I don't remember the exact size of it, but 4 feet is probably pretty close to how big it was. It was huge. So yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything. Can't think of anything else I was going to tell you guys. Again, apologies for being out of pocket. I had to rush out of here Friday afternoon and had no idea it would be quite the extended affair that it was yesterday, but it was a long day and I need a nap. It's been a long couple of days actually, because Friday was rehearsal, and after the rehearsal we had the dinner and at the church and then the cleanup. So it was probably 11 o'clock when I left the church Friday night, and it was 11 o'clock when I left the reception hall at the hotel where they had the reception last night. And it was after 12 when I left here, after feeding everybody and finally getting Wilson back in his room. And then had to go home and feed dogs and cats and all that. And it was late when I got to bed, and I got up around between 8 and 8:30 to get ready for church this morning. Have not had a lot of sleep this weekend, but I will try to make up for it today, and I think tomorrow I'm going to try to get in early and spend most of the day with a metal detector in my hand. That's true. But typically it's not an issue because I'm here for work anyway. The weekends sometimes are a little challenging depending on what's going on, but most of the time, all I really have to do is, I go to church on Sunday morning and try to find a few hours to metal detect and whatnot. Whatever thing I try to do to goof off on the weekend. No, I don't mind doing this. I mean, the worst part about coming up here and taking care of these guys is just the drive. I would much rather be able to foster if I could do it at home. But like I told Melanie, if we whenever we do get a bigger house, if we're able to do it at home, I'm just afraid we're going to end up with about 50 cats in our house, and we can't do that. So I guess we just have to keep the mindset that we can't keep them. We are full. We were full before we took in Tabby. We were full before we took in Mabel. But we are definitely full now. But yeah, with the rescue group is also, from what I've seen, they have a very good relationship with PetSmart now, and they're keeping their cages full. I mean, they're adopting cats, but as soon as they get one adopted, they find another one that needs to be rescued and keep the wheels moving. But they're looking for fosters. I think they have to be 12 weeks before they're able to go to PetSmart, so they're trying to find fosters for all of the younger kittens that they get, and I'll probably undertake some of that. when everything kind of allows it. But we have a building full of cats right now that we got to take care of first and get them adopted before I can take on any more. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm trying not to take any fault for that, but we haven't been real engaged with the PetSmart adoptions as much as we probably could have. Just and not because we're not willing to do it, but just when we have done it, we got Percy adopted, but everybody else just hates it. They don't act like themselves in there, and it's just hard to put them through that when they're so scared and miserable being there. But I think our plan is from now on to only take a couple at a time and see how it goes. And we can take flyers with pictures of all the others. Extra toes or a thumb? I mean, they have the little dew claw on the inside of their feet there. Yeah, polydactyl is what I was thinking. Hello, Wilson. You gonna plop down? You gonna plop down? Yep. You got spooked when Lionel jumped up. What are you doing, Wilson? But yeah, as we approach 40 minutes, I think I'm gonna wind down. We have so much leftover food from the rehearsal dinner at my parents' house. I've got to go over there and try to help them put a dent in that. I had 2 giant bowls of leftover coleslaw and green beans in my refrigerator. And there's another huge bowl of potato salad left and a giant tray of barbecue. So I'm going to do my best to help them eat that and probably take some home, and I'll be eating on that for a little while, as I'm sure they will be too. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well, and hopefully we will be back on schedule after today. And I will keep you all as updated as I possibly can on what goes on with sweet Miss Zelda here. So as soon as I hear more or figure out what's happening, I will let you all know. But until then, we will do this again. I'm thinking it will be tomorrow evening. We're off work for the holiday tomorrow, so I will try to. My plan is to try to get here fairly early tomorrow. I've got a spot in mind where I may try to go metal detect that's here in town, and I'd like to spend the better part of the day doing it. But I know the camera is on the schedule for a Monday, so I will try to remember to make sure that is turned on. So that will be running all day, and everybody will be running around like a normal Saturday or Sunday. But it'll probably be tomorrow evening for the close-up, if I had to guess. So thank you all again. I appreciate it, and hopefully we will see you tomorrow evening. Everybody have a good day. See you tomorrow.